Hi there, I'm Scott Litt, and you are in my studio with me here in Venice, California, in front of these beautiful Ocean Way monitors. I'll give you a little background about these speakers and my experience with Alan Sides and Ernie Woody and Ocean Way. And I started as an engineer at Power Station in New York in the late 70s. That was a very famous studio in its day. Bob Clearmountain was our head engineer, chief engineer, and Neil Dorfsman, myself, James Farber, Larry Alexander, a number of great engineers came through there. And when I decided to relocate to California, I did the rounds of a number of studios, and as soon as I walked into Ocean Way, it felt like home to me. And I had, I was a little bit of a sound snob in that, coming from what you think is the best studio in the world, you couldn't settle for just anything. And Ocean Way became my home. It became my home so much. In fact, I think the first project I did there was the first Indigo Girls record. And what was great was that there was a band called Hot House Flowers at the time that were recording there, and we ran into each other, and they ended up singing on this song, Closer to Find, and that was their Indigo Girls' first kind of single. And that reminded me so much of Power Station that people would kind of bump into each other in the hallways, and everybody would end up playing on each other's record. And it's kind of one of the great things about the business back in the day. I think now it's a little more insular, and people do stuff at home or in places like this where there's not as much foot traffic. And but sometimes you miss those things. But anyway, getting back to Ocean Way, that became my home for a number of years, even to the point where the guys actually built a room for me there. And I put in a Neve console, an 8068, did a number of things there, some REM mixing, Nirvana Unplugged was mixed there. So I have a long, great history with Ocean Way, and so it was just sort of par for the course that when Alan and Ernie and Bruce and the guys started building, they started Ocean Way Audio and were designing speakers, that I would make the jump from what I had, which were Ocean Way Alan Sides monitors, but they were the big JBLs with white equalizers and a lot of circuitry, and basically took up most of this room. When they ended up starting to design speakers, I, raised my hand and said, I'll be in. So, and I've been absolutely delighted with them. They sound perfect for this room. They adjust well, people love them, and what's great is that the display of them is just perfect for a room this size, for these particular speakers, where one walks around and it sounds even throughout the room, and just bright enough and loud enough that you can work a nice long day without fatigue. And I'm super pleased with them, and I hope you enjoy this little talk.